For the last 3.5 months, I have been trying so hard to drastically change my life. So, I was trying to become self employed, I was trying to grow on YouTube, and I was also trying to do a body recomp. And unfortunately, none of those things went very well at all. I thought that, like, we are constantly told that if we just push ourselves, we're not trying hard enough, if we just sink more hours into it, then we will achieve the outcome that we want. And I believed that. And so I was thinking about it, my goals all of the time. I thought that if I just worked hard, then I will achieve my outcome in, 3 to 6 months, because that's what all of these people say. It only takes like 3 to 6 months or maybe even a year to drastically change your life. And I'm not saying that that's not true. I think you can. But for me, what happened was I got so excited by the outcomes, just like, I can do this. Like, I can change my life in 3, 6 months, or maybe even a year. And because I was so excited about that, just thinking about the outcome was my motivation. But what really happened was I stopped living in my day to day life. I was unhappy with where I was now. I was waking up every day just waiting for my outcome to happen. I was still working towards my goals, but I was working towards it in a way where I wasn't present in my current life. I was just working to achieve an outcome. And what ended up happening is half of the year went by, where I'm currently in June, and it was just like, what happened? Like, where did all of that time go? And all of that time, like, working towards my goal, it just went by in such a blur. And I realized a couple of things, like, that's not how I want to live my life, because as I have unfortunately discovered after 3 months of trying to change my life, that your goals pretty much always take you longer than you hope and you would like. And so I thought that if I just locked in like that and just buckled down and focused and just like put everything to the wayside, that I would get to my goal faster. And unfortunately, your goals often take longer than you would like. And so, what I found is that if I continue on this path, then I am going to go throughout the rest of my 20s in a blink. Like, suddenly I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be 30. I may have achieved my goal, but what happened in between then, I don't know. That's not really how I want to live. I want to be present in my life. So that was the first problem that I encountered, is just you think that locking in is going to get you to your goal faster. And, it very well may do for some people, but I found that that's not really going to work for me, because when I lock in and I push everything to the wayside, it starts to burn me out. And I feel like that actually happens for a lot of other people. They lock in, they think about it all the time. And for some people, they get to their goal, but for some other people, they get really frustrated with how long it's taking, and then suddenly all this time is gone and they haven't still achieved their goal, and it's actually going to take them much, much longer. So I can't go on living like that. And secondly, I found that when I'm thinking about achieving this goal and it's all that I'm thinking about, like, I'm constantly planning it, I'm constantly thinking about it, I'm worrying about it, and wanting to achieve this goal in like a short amount of time, it means that you become perfectionist. It's just like, I need to eat perfectly, I need to schedule my day perfectly. And you get really frustrated when you've wasted time, when something hasn't gone the way, like a day hasn't gone the way that you would have liked. So I found that I was getting so frustrated and quite angry if something came up that I didn't expect. It's just like, oh, this was like a massive like setback. And or if I found that I was getting really, really frustrated if things popped up and it disrupted my goal. It disrupted my path and my routine, and suddenly I had like a little setback. And because I was getting into this perfectionist headset and I was getting really, really frustrated that like I wasn't progressing fast enough, I need to do every single day perfectly in order to achieve my goal by the deadline that I set. All of that mentality was seriously stressing me out so bad that I got really, really anxious. So I was walking around with a lot of tightness in my chest for days at a time. I was also waking up constantly in the middle of the night from anxious dreams. And I was also waking up with a racing heart. And I was also very emotionally high strung. And I would just constantly, well, not constantly, but I was frequently having breakdowns. And it essentially was burning me out. Like, if this is the long game that I'm trying to play, locking in and just hustling and grinding and like focusing like tunnel vision on this is not going to work for me in the long run, because it's only going to make me stressed out and it's going to burn me out. So I actually have taken a break from it for the last couple of weeks. Like, I haven't really been focusing on making any videos. I haven't been working on becoming self-employed. I have still been hitting the gym and, doing some client work, but I've just had a little sit back to reflect on what I'm doing, because I can't just hustle and grind and will my way into achieving my goals. What's actually going to get me there is going to be time and patience. And that's so frustrating when you just want to achieve like your dream life. But I have to remember, I am actually happy with the life that I have created so far. And I still want my outcome, but I want to be well when I get there. I want to be able to enjoy the journey, because otherwise I am going to like lock in and blink and suddenly like where did all of that time go? I want to enjoy the journey, and also if I don't enjoy the journey, then I'm probably not going to stick with it long term, and it's probably going to burn me out, and then I keep stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So essentially, if my goals are going to take a long time, like much longer than I would have liked, I need to set up healthier routines, and I need to set up a system where I'm not feeling guilty for resting, and I need to work on changing my mindset. So essentially, this is where this video comes in. So I am somebody that does want to change their life, but I want to see how far I can get in 6 months, still perhaps working as hard as I was in the last 3 months, but without that mentality behind it. Because I wasn't actually overworking myself in the technical sense for the most part. The first half of it I was kind of. So I found that I can only really work at my desk like 25 hours per week. So 5 hours a day is kind of like my cap. And if 5 hours of deep focus work is all that I can achieve each day, then I really just have to honor that and not push beyond that. So I'm not overworking myself in like the technical sense. I go to the gym like a healthy amount of times. I still like my nutrition's like pretty good. I don't think I'm overworking myself. It's just, can I still make the same amount of progress in the physical sense, but in terms of the mentality, having that be a lot more healthier and manageable, because I am still an ambitious person. I just really have to honor my sensitive nervous system, and I just have to really embrace like the healthy routines that help me. So I need to not push beyond what my body is saying. And I also do need to focus on getting really, really good sleep. So essentially, what I want this series to be is for the people who have sensitive nervous systems and who also want to work but without burning out. Because like there is this pressure from society and within ourselves that is telling us that we are not doing enough, and that can be really hard to hear when you're genuinely trying your best. It's just like, all I can do is like 5 hours of like, focus work at my desk whilst trying to live my life. And then you hear other people saying like, I study for like 8-12 hours a day, or these other people can lock themselves in like a room and grind like 12 hours a day for like 90 days or even longer than that. And I don't know how those people do it, but I'm just not one of those people that can grind, because my body gives me like consequences almost like immediately if something that I'm doing is not sustainable. So it's a curse and it's also a blessing, because hopefully this means that by honoring what my body is saying, like to do X, Y, and Z in order to, not stress myself out so that I can keep going, then hopefully that will help me get there in the long run. So I'm not somebody that can sprint towards an outcome. I really just have to find like a healthy pace for this marathon. So essentially, what are the things that I'm trying to achieve? So the main quest is becoming self-employed and ideally trying to become financially stable, abundant. There's a lot that I've achieved in the last 5 years, but my finances is not one of them. And it's something that is frustrating not to have because it really, really just limits you. You can't get yourself like the things that you really want. I haven't been on a trip since I was like 16 years old, like a real holiday, and like buying a house out of the question. Like, so finances are something that I really want to improve upon. And currently I work in hospitality. I work like 3 days a week, like over the weekend, so that I have Monday to Thursday to work on becoming self-employed. So what I'm actually trying to do in terms of becoming self-employed, at the moment, I have been doing some virtual assistant and freelancing work, but I found that with virtual assistant, I don't think it's going to get me the kind of growth that I'm seeking. So what I've been trying to do is I've been trying to learn more um, high income skills. So at the moment, I've been trying to learn automation skills from like Zapier and Make. And I'm hoping that if I learn like some pretty challenging things and I'm able to help businesses like streamline their processes, then that's perhaps where the money will be for me. There's like, I think her name's Daya. Yeah, it is Daya. I think this is what she said. Solve small problems, make small money, and solve big problems, make big money. To that effect, I'm paraphrasing. So essentially, that's what I'm trying to do. And where I'm at with that is I have not been able to focus on it lately because of how much time YouTube has taken me, but I'll get back into that later. So I have spoken to my manager slash boss at work, and he is actually more than happy for me to use them as a case study and see if I can actually implement those automation systems. And I know automation and AI is a kind of like a trigger word, and a lot of people like don't like it. And I don't want to like get too much into that and like defend it, but I'm not trying to like replace anybody. My manager answers like a lot of emails every single day, and I just want to see like, are there some things that I can do that save her time and headaches, like repetitive things that she does that I can help her with. So that's the first task that I'm trying to solve. Like what headaches do they have that I can try and solve? Because if I can try and solve, some things and they genuinely like it, then I'm hoping that they'll be able to give me like a really positive like review, maybe word of mouth, and they recommend me to other places. That is the plan, but it might not work out. So I'm not going to know it until I actually try, and we will see. I'll just have to pivot the plan and learn something else if that doesn't happen like I hope. In terms of YouTube, I am trying to grow on YouTube, and potentially this could be a source of income if it, does get monetized sometime, some point down the line. But it's not going to be like my main focus. I am trying to focus on like a job because YouTube's going to be like, I don't want to have to put all of this pressure into making my YouTube videos like algorithm, like perfect, clickable. I just want this to be like community focused. So I don't want to put all of this pressure that into YouTube when I should be putting my time and attention into becoming self-employed with my freelancing skills. So this would just be like a nice bonus thing to have. So essentially, that is the plan for becoming self-employed. I do also have one client, like freelancing client, that I've been doing some video editing work for him. That's going to come to a nice little wrap up soon. And once I'm finished working for him, I'll be able to have more time to spend learning some more of those skills. So that is essentially the main quest, but there are also some side quests that I want to achieve. So unfortunately, I was trying to do a body recomp and I had my body scan done a couple of days ago, And I actually managed to lose muscle like with what I was doing, which is so disappointing because I was going to the gym at least 3 times a week. I was trying to, hit my protein goal and, trying to be hydrated. But after speaking to him, he suspects that perhaps I have been eating a little bit more than I think. And also, my recovery probably hasn't been the best if my sleep isn't very good. So, unfortunately, with all of the anxiety that I've been having and stress, it has been impacting my sleep over the last 3 months. And also, my stress has been really, really high, which meant that my body isn't probably going to feel safe enough to, I don't know, do the body recomp. I'm not I don't really know how it all works technically. I'm not like a fitness person, but essentially that was the gist of what he was saying. It's like try to improve my sleep and try to manage my stress. So I'm going to try and do that. But essentially, I'm not really too fussed about how the body recomp goes anymore if I can't manage my sleep. So, what I'm going to be doing is just focusing on trying to improve my overall body strength and my mobility slash flexibility. So, it's partly for vanity and also for, it's good for me in the long run when I get older. But I do want to be able to do like some calisthenics moves. So at the moment, I've been working on my L sits, like my frog pose, my pull ups, chin ups, and like my planks and stuff like that. And those are like the foundational exercises. And eventually, I'll get stronger and I can do other really cool things. Like one of the elite level things that you can do is like a human flag, where you're like sideways on a pole and you're like vertical. Being able to do the Azula plank would also be cool. But that's way down the line. I'm just focusing on like the simple things. So it would be really cool to do. It'll also be really good for me to like build up my overall, like just strengthen my body and be able to do body weight exercises. The other thing that I want to improve upon is my flexibility and my mobility. So I haven't been terribly consistent with yoga, but I do want to get more into like a yoga practice because I know it does make me feel good when I do it. I just don't do it consistently. And I also do want to intentionally try and improve my flexibility. So intentionally try and move so that I can do the splits and I can touch my toes and I can like, I don't know, put my head to my knees. And it's also good for me. Like it's vanity and it's also good for me. So a win is a win. And so that is the fitness aspect of things that I'm trying to improve upon, little side quest. There's also more side quests. I have been feeling my creative spark coming back, which is really, really nice because I did a degree for art a couple of years ago and I have been burnt out ever since. And I also never really wanted to use my degree. I wanted to go down a different path. And so because I was burnt out, I haven't really done anything, but I've been feeling that spark coming back, which is really nice as an artist. So I would like to maybe take the time intentionally to go out in plein air and, sketch from life. And I also bought some oil pastels and I'm very much a beginner, but it looks really nice. And I just want to spend that time just, being creative and being intentional and just activating that part of the brain because it is really, really nice as an artist, just being able to do something creative and just feel that joy. I also want to become more educated as well. So at the moment, I've been feeling a lot of brain fog lately. So what I've been doing is I've been scrubbing my YouTube algorithm so that it is recommending me stuff that is more educational because I don't like when I'm cooking and cleaning, I do not need to be rewatching the same TV shows over and over again when I could be spending that time cooking and cleaning and running errands, listening to something that's going to progress me. So I do want to listen to more podcasts and audiobooks and I can also just listen to like some fantasy stuff as well. It doesn't have to be like all self-help. I just want to not to kind of like reduce my brain rot time. If I want to change my life, then I need to become smarter. So I'm going to try and listen to more audiobooks, podcasts, like educational YouTube videos, maybe even some documentaries. But yes, so I do want to become more educated so that I can, hit my goals. I also want to have a soft glow up. It's quite hard to it's kind of hard to do that on my limited budget, but where it is feasible, I want to do things that will make me feel more put together and more elegant on a day-to-day basis. I have a very limited winter wardrobe, especially when it comes to like home clothes. So I just feel like I've been going about like winter in my very cold Australian house, just like in daggy clothes. And it does make me feel good when I feel more put together and I can just leave the house and I'm already like dressed. I don't have to, completely change out. And I just want to feel more dressed even when I'm home because it does make me feel good. And where it is financially feasible, I would also like to get some more winter wardrobe staples affordably. I was able to get these from Glassons. I got this in 3 different colors. It was only 20 bucks each, and it's cotton, which is awesome. But unfortunately, other winter clothes are quite expensive when it comes to nice warm jumpers. But we shall see. It is something that I'm trying to improve upon. Something else that I've been doing that has been making me feel more put together and elegant is painting my nails. It doesn't take me very long, and it's way more affordable than going out and getting them done, especially if I don't have the money for it. So maybe I'll even try some new makeup styles as well, but just things that make me feel more put together and elegant on a day-to-day basis. And last up is I want to live the rest of 2025 with more intention. So last year was very much a healing year for me and kind of like a figuring it out year. And I made a New Year's resolution to do something fun every single month. And despite the hardships that I had last year, I remember that year with like a lot of fondness. If you actually want to see, it's on my Instagram page. I made like a 2024 wrap up montage, and it's actually one of my favorite things. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So, those are all of the things that I did that year, and it was really fun. And I didn't take that mindset into 2025 because it was supposed to be a hustle and grind mindset. And so, I just feel like this year has gone by so quickly, and I haven't actually done anything that I'm super like I can look back on like, yeah, I did that. Like I'm really happy that I've made like a lot of YouTube videos, but I feel like that's about it. Um, I've spent a lot of time with my friends, like going out to cafes, which has been also really nice. But I want to be able to say like specific things like, oh, we did like this, and this, and it was really like fun. So for the rest of the year, I think I have 6 months left. I want to do more fun things. So going out and doing like a new activity or bringing my friends home and doing like a themed challenge or just like a themed thing. The only issue with it though is it has to be affordable and it has to be easy because I did a lot of things last year that required like a lot of planning, like throwing a surprise party and hosting like making a flower bouquet day with all of my friends. That took a lot of mental planning. I can't do things like that while I'm already like busy. It has to be something like really easy, like we can just go there, pay a little bit of money for it, and just have a good time. That's the kind of thing that we have to do because I really just don't have like the mental capacity to be planning all of these fun things. So doing more fun things is something that I would like to do, but I would also like to be more intentional with how I go about my day-to-day life. So I do want to be more present and focused and just like taking more moments to romanticize my life and appreciating where I am now at my journey. And I also do want to, be more appreciative of like the small moments and also nurture my community. I do want to, like appreciate the quality time that I am spending with my friends and family and see them more often and just doing like little things where it's feasible to not to the point where like I have like no time to like focus on my goals, but essentially I just want to live the rest of 2025 with more intention, being more present and appreciating where I'm at more because I don't want to feel like I'm in a rush to achieve things anymore. There's like this, I think it's a Ferris Bueller quote, like life moves pretty fast, and if you don't look around once in a while, you're going to miss it. So I do just want to embrace kind of like the slow path when it comes to achieving all of my goals because my time is precious. So this all does kind of sound like a lot that I'm trying to achieve, but I think the biggest thing that I want to essentially say going into this challenge is I do not expect to be able to do it all, and I'm not trying to do it all perfectly every single day. So these are like the overall things that I would like to do. So the most important one is doing like my main quest, and the next thing is, improving like my fitness and, staying strong and looking after my body. And then the rest of those things is like I try to like balance it in as best as I can. And I also need to focus on maintaining really, really good habits. So I haven't spoken as much about it, but I do have a very sensitive nervous system. So I've found that the most work that I can do every week is about 25 hours of work. 5 hours pretty much is my cap every single day, which means that I can get on average, it's more like around 15 hours average, which unfortunately isn't as much as I would like. But I find that if I try and push, to my limit every single time, then I do burn out. Then my body gets really unhappy. Like I have like a little health ring on my finger, and I have found that if I'm sitting at my desk for really long periods of time, then it goes up into the red of my stress levels. So there are also other things that I need to do that honors my nervous system and my sleep cycle. So I find that getting my morning sunlight and a walk in is basically a non-negotiable at this point. At the very beginning of my journey, when I was struggling with my sleep, I heard that going outside and getting your morning sunlight can really help. And it's unfortunately true for me. And now I have to go on a walk. I like walks, but it's just like it's winter now. And now I have to go outside when it's like freezing cold and get my morning sunlight in for like 15 minutes because the sun isn't as strong in winter. So that's also become like a non negotiable for my health. And also, when I start to sacrifice things that make me happy in favor of getting more work done, then that's where I start to get a little bit nutty and I start to burn out. So I realized at one point in that 3 month period that I hadn't seen my friends or my family in 2.5 weeks. And I was like, I started getting like really anxious and really, really lonely. And I realized like, let's not do that anymore. We need to see at least one of them every single week. Because it's not good to sacrifice like your social community. I mean, like I know that other people can do it, but for me at least, it's not good, and it's not going to make me happy to just completely like not see them just so that I can like hustle and grind. The other thing that I find is that I also can't sacrifice my physical health for, just in favor of getting more work done. Because if I stop exercising, I have been exercising for like a couple of years now. If I stop doing that, I start to, not feel good. Exercise is good for the mental health. So that is something that I just can't sacrifice in favor of getting more work done. So essentially, it is a little bit frustrating that I can only get, X amount of hours average each week whilst trying to, balance everything because, if I could just sink more hours into it, maybe I'd achieve my outcome, but it's not going to happen. I just need to work within what my body can achieve, which is, that amount of time sitting at my desk and also balancing everything else. So I am taking the longer path, the slower path, but I will still get there in the end. It just won't be that really cool, like I was able to change my life in like 3 to 6 months kind of journey. Because I know that they get like a lot of clicks and a lot of people want to get, fast results like really, really quickly. And some people can, but some people just really need to like, some people just can't due to like lifestyle circumstances, or they have a sensitive nervous system, or they are somebody that burns out really easily. And I would like this to be a space where we all come together and we, like, that is the path that we follow, something that is more gentle and slow, but it's also intentional, and there's less pressure and there's also less guilt, and it's overall healthier. I don't want this to be like a mean space, just like you're not working hard enough. The real people get like 8 hours of solid work every single day. Yeah, it's not something that I can do sustainably. And so I would like this to be a place where other people perhaps in a similar situation can come together and we can, grow together as a community. Yes, in conclusion, I'm not expecting to get it all done, but I would like to see how far I can get in 6 months without, the pressure, without the guilt, and just trying to be compassionate towards myself, um, and get there still happy and still enjoying the process and the journey of becoming and creating my dream life. And I also need to be appreciative of the journey and where I'm at along the way. So, kind of a little rambly end. Thank you so much if you stuck all the way to the end. I look forward to seeing you and talking to you in the coming videos. You can expect moving forward bi-weekly updates like what I was doing beforehand. And these videos are going to be a lot more of like a sit down style because this is one thing I forgot to mention. When it comes to YouTube and getting all of my work done, if I've only got like 15 hours of focused work or maybe 20 hours of focused work that I can do each week, then YouTube is something that I have to keep at a minimum. So I can't do really, really fancy high edit things because they just take up way, way, way too much of my time. I found that during that 3-month period, I was really just focusing on how to do YouTube. So, like how to speak, how to edit, how to make something engaging, which I'm still working on. So, I found that that took me a very long time. It was taking me like 20 hours a week to edit each video. And I really just kind of settled on creating sit down talking head style videos without that vlog content in between, which means that it takes me a lot less time to edit these videos, which means that it is more um, intuitive. It works better with my schedule if I'm able to work less on YouTube in favor of working on my big main quest, which is becoming like self-employed and a freelancer, if I don't have to spend as much time editing all of these YouTube videos. So I am going to be doing some bi-weekly updates on how my progress is going and lessons that I have learned along the way that I want to share. But additionally, I also want to create a couple of challenge style videos, which won't be happening as much, but I do want to challenge myself, like make art for 30 days or do yoga for 30 days, that kind of thing, and see how that goes and make maybe like a bigger style, fancier style video, but not make them as often to the point where it's consuming all of my time, and as well as making more sit down chatty style videos. So that's where I'm at with YouTube and what you can hopefully expect from me moving forward. It might be a little bit of a struggle to get everything done, and I'm going to have to play it by ear. I might have to change the plan, but that's what I would like, anyways. So, getting back to my conclusion, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you subscribe and we can all talk and chat and share our journeys about what we are doing. I would like to hear about what you're doing and what kind of path you're on. And I guess I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.